With patience, he climbed the stone steps, reaching the summit with ease. Han Li discovered that the gates of the Purple Palace were inlaid with rare, high-grade spirit stones, and the palace walls were inscribed with texts in silver tadpole script. He tested the palace walls' restrictions with an electric arc, but the arc was absorbed by an invisible force. Han Li summoned a giant ape puppet to push open the palace gates, revealing a plaza made of cyan tiles. At the end of the plaza were 3 side halls surrounding the main hall made of purple gold, with low pavilions behind it. Han Li enters the light door, followed by the giant ape puppet. The dark blue light sphere explodes, and the silk net and light door vanish. Shi Kun and Lu Shui approach the palace, and learn that Han Li has already entered the palace. Han Li appears in front of the purple gold hall. Above the hall's door is a golden script that he cannot read. The giant ape puppet fails to open the door and disappears after being electrocuted. Purple snake lightning strikes Han Li, dissolving his crystal shield, but the celestial fiend armor blocks the attack. A temple-like hall is discovered, with side doors leading to other areas. Inside the hall are 2 rows of shelves made of snowy wood, holding over 10 top-grade unfinished treasures with special divine powers. Han Li collects all the treasures. A cushion woven from armor grass is found, able to block flying sword attacks, and is of great value. Han Li collects hundreds of armor grass cushions. A broken incense stick is seen inside the incense burner, emitting a strong sandalwood fragrance. Han Li carefully removes the broken incense, finding that it cannot be lit with flames. Han Li enters a simple inner chamber, finds a pile of blank thin silk and several ancient jade scrolls, and takes them. Han Li explores a secret room with silver tadpole writing, and finds out that they are cultivation secret rooms. Han Li forcibly breaks open the secret room door, and finds out that it is empty. Han Li forcibly breaks open 6 more secret rooms, and still finds nothing. Han Li enters the 7th secret room, and finds a jade box, a small bottle, and a golden picture. The picture is densely covered with golden flying swords. Han Li faces a time-limited challenge of navigating a plaza illusion formation. He realizes the medicine garden is the most likely place to explore. As immortal world spiritual herbs are immensely valuable, Han Li can use a mysterious vial to ripen the herbs, potentially yielding great benefits. The medicine garden is protected by a 5-colored light curtain and purple gold pillars behind the main hall's attic gazebo. Han Li employs the soul-devouring firebird to break the light curtain formation, but the purple gold pillars unleash a defensive array of purple arcs. Han Li relies on the extraterrestrial devil's armor, talismanic light shields, and the primordial magnetic polar mountain to withstand the arc attacks. Han Li is trapped within the 5-colored light haze, facing the threats of the purple lightning. He summons his golden body, but the golden body is struck by an electrical arc. Han Li uses the mountain ape transformation technique. His body is augmented and he breaks the light haze's confinements. The ape summons the silver firebird and the black mountain. The ape uses brute force to throw the black mountain, creating a spatial fissure. The restrictions of the medicine garden are difficult to overcome, but they weaken after entering and leaving. Han Li enters the garden. The medicine garden is full of spiritual energy and has many kinds of spiritual medicines planted in it. Among them, there is a field of red fruit. Red fruit is the main ingredient for brewing red fruit immortal wine, a precious immortal wine in the immortal world. Han Li knows that the red fruit here has been growing for a long time. There are 2 other kinds of spiritual herbs in the herbal garden. One that smells like jade and the other that is colorful and ugly. Han Li and Guo'er collect spiritual herbs in a medicine garden and find extremely rare species that they cannot identify. A section of the garden contains forbidden medicinal herbs, and Han Li uses his divine magnetization light to attempt to remove the restriction. The divine magnetization light cannot easily break through the golden spiritual chi restriction. So Han Li uses the power of his magnetized extreme mountain to enhance the divine magnetization light. The restriction is finally removed, and Han Li successfully collects the rare medicinal herbs. Han Li used restrictions to seal the seed parts of the other spiritual medicines to prevent them from self-destructing. The silvery lotus pod was highly resistant to the sword silk, so Han Li could only use an array to collect it. Han Li mobilized the array using array flags and incantations, and with blue Sha light, he drew the silvery lotus pod into a jade bottle, successfully collecting it. Han Li examined the silvery lotus pod and lotus root in the jade bottle. Finding them intact, and sealed the jade bottle before putting it away carefully. Han Li collected other odd spiritual medicines in the medicine garden. Although they were considered common by the medicine garden's owner, they were still rare in the spirit world. Han Li agrees to assist Lu Shui and Shi Kun in breaking the ban on the main hall, and warns them to also take out their ban-breaking means. Lu Shui sacrifices a ban-breaking magic weapon, and Shi Kun prepares to use a ban-breaking talisman to help. Han Li wears the extraterrestrial demon armor, manifesting a golden body dharma to resist the electric backlash when breaking the ban. Han Li throws the Yuan magnetic polar peak to weigh down the main hall gate, which triggers a counterattack from the electric grid. And at the same time, the electric snake pounces on Han Li. Shi Kun is unwilling to give up the void spirit pill, and Lu Shui suggests exchanging it for crystal moon liquid. Shi Kun is moved but refuses, and the atmosphere between the two is tense. Han Li suggests that they enter the hall to check the authenticity of the void spirit pill before making a decision. Shi Kun and Lu Shui agree, and the three enter the hall together. The hall is spacious, with only purple gold pillars, weapons, armor, a jade screen, and a golden cauldron. Using his spirit eye magical ability, Han Li discovers a door with strange gold and silver runes printed on the screen. The exquisite key found within the golden cauldron could only be opened by Han Li. Han Li received the exquisite key from Lu Shui and Shi Kun and prepared to open the golden cauldron. The exquisite key transformed into a golden dragon and a phoenix and was inserted into the slots on the golden cauldron. The golden cauldron emitted a dragon's roar, flashed with golden light, and a whirlpool pattern appeared. Han Li used his magical technique to open the golden cauldron. A phoenix cry rang out from the cauldron and the dragons and phoenix heads moved. The lid of the cauldron flew off. A golden sphere flew out of the golden cauldron. Han Li covered it with the radiance of dawn. Han Li, Shi Kun, and Lu Shui examined the treasures, trying to find what Shi Kun's master and Senior Duan were looking for. Han Li took out the furnace of heaven and earth, and found there was a golden gourd inside. Its surface was covered with patterns and gleaming with spiritual light. After inspecting the gourd, Lu Shui and Shi Kun believed it was an ancient lost gourd sword that contained a flying sword. Both Lu Shui and Shi Kun said that the gourd was not what they were looking for, and suggested that Han Li keep it temporarily and distribute it once all the treasures had been found. Han Li accepted the gourd and continued urging the furnace of heaven and earth to find other treasures. A golden phoenix appeared. Han Li shot out 5 cold flames from his fingertips to knock it down. It turned back into a golden yellow pill, which was confirmed to be the void spirit pill. Lu Shui and Shi Kun consulted and agreed to split the void spirit pill equally. And Han Li took out 2 more precious materials from the cauldron for the two to take one each. Kai Liuying and Shi Kun suggested that Han Li first choose the 3 treasures he had previously kept, and Lu Shui agreed. Han Li was sucked into the painting on the screen. Arriving in a space akin to the Mount Meru cave abode, he set up formations to create a milky white fog wall, concealing himself and the giant gate. Han Li released Qur from the void heaven cauldron, who successfully infiltrated the golden cauldron and retrieved a void spirit pill. Han Li rewarded Qur with a set of 360 flying knives for protection. He collected the void spirit pill, reflecting on the challenges of reaping rewards in this perilous foreign land. Han Li and Lu Shui broke through the Dian's restriction, but only seized weapons and armor, leaving behind a lonely screen. Han Li entered the space within the screen and encountered a powerful restriction on the giant gate. He used his divine ability but could not shake it. Han Li used the shattering Dharma eyes to open the spatial restriction, but he could not open the giant gate. The treasures inside Zumi Cave Heaven remained unknown. Han Li used the soul-devouring fire phoenix and Yuan magnetic mountain to attack the giant gate. He finally broke through part of the restriction, but the giant gate remained firm. Han Li discovers a golden orb in the sky, resembling a spatial node or rift. 9 silver warriors clad in archaic armor, engraved with golden runes, possess mobility. Han Li deduces that the warriors are puppets controlled by the celestial pattern. The celestial pattern conceals an illusion array, drawing Han Li into a timeless void. Testing his resolve, Han Li's fortitude and divine sense are enhanced, leading him to believe the celestial pattern is a trial of the mind. A Kui Green Grand Master's chair in the center is suspected to possess extraordinary abilities. Han Li resolves to explore the secrets of the dais, and has his golden incarnation board the throne within the star chart. Soon after, the dais changes greatly, revealing 5 colored orbs and a 3-colored formation. While the silver puppets activate and release a formidable spiritual pressure, a golden beam strikes a golden sphere, forming a vortex, and 3-colored runes merge into the vortex, releasing spatial ripples. The golden beam thickens, and the formation condenses into a light screen, upon which Sanskrit runes fly towards the golden incarnation, activating the light screen and causing a deafening thunderclap. Han Li feels his surroundings darken, and realizes he is in a strange perspective, as if looking down from the sky upon the star chart. Han Li and his second nascent soul endure excruciating pain that they cannot resist. Han Li employs the Brahma Saint demonic arts, converting the pain into energy and rapidly raising his cultivation level. The second nascent soul withstands even greater agony within the light pillar, but its cultivation level rises faster. Han Li breaks through to mid-body integration, and the second nascent soul absorbs the golden liquid droplets, reconstructing the Brahma Saint body. Violet gold patterns emerge on the second nascent soul, and its appearance becomes clearer. Its cultivation level surpasses the deity transformation stage, reaching the body integration realm. The 9 corpses light pillar vanishes, and the milky white light pillar expands. The second nascent soul lets out a cry, and the Brahma Saint body dissolves. Violet threads of light appear within the golden liquid droplets, absorbing and refining the pure spiritual energy. Han Li pain intensifies, and he continues to cultivate the Brahma Saint demonic arts. The nascent soul second stage impacts the merger stage bottleneck, and along with the golden body, is destroyed by a mysterious energy. The Ben T's true body cultivation base also reaches the peak of the refinement stage late period, and a mysterious energy begins to pour into the body, causing the meridians to expand. Han Li's physical body cannot withstand the impact of the mysterious energy, and a layer of golden scales covers his body, forming the Brahma sacred armor. In order to preserve his nascent soul, Han Li devises a plan to self-detonate his body before it explodes, using the force of the explosion to help the nascent soul escape. However, this method is perilous, and the nascent soul may still perish. Furthermore, he has another spirit mushroom body that he can possess. Mysterious skeleton perceives the destruction of the golden disc in the spirit world, becomes extremely enraged, and tears apart the chamber wall. Han Li uses the profound heaven sword to annihilate the mysterious energy, advancing to the peak of late-stage void refinement. Han Li's spiritual power is depleted, and his body goes numb, rendering him immobile. Han Li remains optimistic about the aftereffects, rejoicing over the time saved in his cultivation. The second nascent soul has a surge in cultivation, and goes into seclusion to stabilize the realm. Unable to fight, the Brahma Saint body has been tempered, resulting in a significant enhancement of aura, covered in purplish gold runes. Han Li discovers the strength of the puppets. Releasing blue light gets him repelled, and the 9 puppets slay each other, becoming fragments. Han Li collects the puppet fragments, traces the star map on the stone platform, and studies the illusions. Han Li learns that the Sumeru treasure has been refined and cannot be collected, and leaves with regret. Just as he steps out of the hall, the Tianyuan Qi heavens and earth spiritual energy becomes chaotic, and the fluctuations of the restriction become unstable, indicating that the restriction is about to fail. The earth fiend's spiritual energy exploded in great amounts, tearing apart the restrictions, and a hurricane swept around for hundreds of miles. Han Li, Lu Shui, and Shi Kun sensed the world-destroying aura and escaped in time. The Horned Netherworld people discovered something strange and were flying towards their location. Han Li, Lu Shui, and Shi Kun decided to separate and escape. Shi Kun left. Lu Shui used her dugout canoe and spirit weasel, and Han Li used his crystal feather wings and spirit snake. The Horned Netherworld's golden horned youth personally pursued Han Li. The golden horned youth used the yellow light lizard and blood red snail to cast a secret technique to track Han Li. Han Li strikes the black spear with his lightning thunderclap energy, but the spear transforms into an illusion, evading the attack and impaling Han Li's enchanted armor, which explodes. Han Li remains unscathed, and the young man is astounded by his armor, demanding to claim it and Han Li's life. The young man summons a silver ruler, while Han Li activates the spring grass array and the spirit-controlling puppet to fight back. The young man enlarges the silver ruler into a giant, breaking the illusions and revealing their location in a forest. The young man continues to dispel Han Li's illusions, Mocking his tactics, Han Li unexpectedly discovers that the Fan Saint golden body can seize treasures, and seizes a silver ruler from a young man of the Horn-Kai tribe. The youth releases a blue and radiant Dharma image, wielding a strange hammer and a triangular shield to counter Han Li's spring rice sword formation. Han Li summons a golden hand and a silver firebird to attack the youth. But the youth sacrifices a white bell, emitting a 7-colored aura that causes Han Li divine consciousness to waver and the sword formation to become chaotic. The youth with the golden horn launched various supernatural attacks, including spatial magic, against Han Li. Han Li's undying golden body released the profound heavenly broken blade, which absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and transformed into a vast golden current to resist the enemy's attack. The youth with the golden horn activated the profound heavenly white bell, a profound heavenly treasure, expending a large amount of spiritual energy to toll the bell. The bell produced an edict of laws. Han Li used the demonic armor to resist, but after 3 chimes, the demonic armor shattered. Han Li manifested azure and white wings, evading the bell's attack. As a result, the space where he was previously standing collapsed. A gory corpse exploded, while a young nascent soul tried to flee but was obliterated by a giant ape's roar. A snow-white bell burst, and its eerie light vanished. The giant ape vanquished a lizard, and its golden aura retracted, revealing a humanoid form. Within the palace in the spirit realm, the destruction of a profound heaven sacred artifact and the death of a disciple was discovered. The Horned Kai people debated the consequences of the lost sacred artifact on their plan. Fearing that other teams may also be facing problems, they worried about the waste of the sacred artifact and how they would explain it to their kin. A leopard Kirin undergoes a mutation, increasing the threat level. Han Li prepares to leave after recovering his magic power. Sounds of a fight are heard outside the tree hollow as a king-level dark beast and a mysterious monster chase each other. Han Li continues on his way, avoiding trouble and encountering no danger along the way. A large lake appears ahead, matching the marker on the map. Han Li explores with his divine sense, discovering an anomaly in the lake. There are almost no spirit beasts, possibly indicating the presence of a powerful monster. Han Li hesitates, considering whether it is worth it to risk entering the lake. Han Li encounters a rare rainbow fish in the spirit realm, possessing a highly poisonous venom. Han Li summons the Azure Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword to attack the fish, but it proves ineffective. The rainbow fish spits out venomous attacks, which Han Li defends against with gray light, 5-colored light, and a lotus. The 5-colored light is dissolved by the venom, forcing Han Li to summon the silver flame firebird. The rainbow fish gathers its venom into a colossal green python, but the silver flame firebird's golden crow true fire destroys it. Han Li detonates the silver flame firebird, neutralizing the rainbow fish's venom. The silver talisman blasts the mountain peaks. Han Li is expressionless. After a cup of tea, the circular golden light bursts out. Han Li takes it. There is a glaring light sphere hovering in a sealed cave. Han Li finds silver mine ore and orders the puppet to extract it. Guo'er senses some spiritual medicine and asks Han Li if he can pick it. Han Li places a seal to hide his figure. Han Li summons the Brahma Saint aspect with a 3-headed and 6-armed golden body. The silver ruler flies out from the golden body. Han Li confirms that it is the ascended spiritual treasure. Han Li fills the silver ruler with his energy and acquires the casting treasure formula of Chaos Ruler. War chariots of the wrong tribe transformed into monstrous forms, defeating a woman and an elder. Han Li arrived in time, using the heavenly fiend seal to scatter the wrong tribe's giant claws. Saving Guo'er, Han Li executed the mixed Yuan ruler precious treasure art, and silver light covered the sky and attacked the wrong tribe. 2 wrong tribe members attacked to defend, sending a black rope and green flames towards Han Li attack. Another elder of the wrong tribe recognized Han Li, feeling slightly relieved. A barbarian using a banner flag is struck in the head by Silver Kai and killed. A barbarian wielding a bronze mirror escapes, but his Tongban are annihilated by the Kai-S projection. 2 barbarians resist the illusory Kai-S projection. The one using a bronze mirror is killed. A barbarian escapes on a flying chariot, which is crushed by Han Li Yuan Magnetic Pole Mountain. Another barbarian flees underground but is killed by Han Li Green Bamboo Bee Cloud Sword. Han Li eradicated the pursuing barbarians using his venerated Saint Golden Avatar. The avatar possesses formidable new divine abilities. including the cave profound golden light, capable of engulfing cultivators at the integration stage. Fairy Moon and the elderly surnamed Shu were grateful for Han Li aid and gift him a 9-flame spirit herb. Han Li effortlessly seizes the herb using his golden light, and it radiates 9 types of divine light and intense heat. Han Li meets Taoist Shu and Fairy Yu and learns that they have encountered a piece of golden script that contains an arcane technique known as the soul refining technique, which can greatly enhance one's spiritual sense. Determined to obtain the golden script, Han Li decides to venture into the secret cave. However, due to his inability to read the script, Taoist Shu and Fairy Yu agree to teach him in exchange for a copy of the golden script. With the map in his possession, Han Li sets off towards the secret cave to search for the golden script, promising to return to Taoist Shu and Fairy Yu for rendezvous after obtaining it. The barbarians found a secret scripture in an isolated cave within a gorge. But the final part of the mantra required the broad chill order to remove a restriction. The barbarians sent men to chase the escaped celestial cloudsman, but the men had not returned. Han Li quietly entered the gorge and overheard the barbarian sentinels discussing how the broad chill order was needed to access the scripture. He discovered a constellation map on the stone wall and successfully entered the secret cave. Han Li tested the Rong's defenses and finding no answer, the Rong relaxed his vigilance. Han Li seized the opportunity to capture the Rong that was studying the golden seal script. The divine ability of the Yuanzi mountain absorbed the Rong, allowing Han Li to successfully capture them. Han Li made arrangements and disguised himself before heading to the milky white cave. Inside the cave, there were 4 barbarians, with one of the men being a giant who exuded a powerful, murderous aura and carried a huge blade on his back. Han Li attempted to ambush the giant, but the blade emitted a warning sound, alerting the other barbarians. The giant swung his blade, unleashing a black whirlwind that clashed with Han Li's silver ruler in a stalemate. Han Li summoned the primordial magnetic mountain, and the giant countered with a bloody murderous aura. But he struggled under the weight of the mountain. The giant used a blood-colored beam of light to strengthen his blood hand, successfully holding up the mountain. While Han Li used his feathered wings to attack stealthily, the giant spat out a golden light and caught Han Li golden little snake pet. A burly man from the foreign race evades Han Li black peak attack, using a 7-layer blood-colored screen to defend himself and unleashing a blood-colored giant tiger to attack. Han Li uses a molten silver orb to smash the giant blade lightning and summons the Brahma Saint avatar. The avatar unleashes a golden vortex that draws in the foreign race man and eliminates him. The black giant blade escapes, but Han Li uses the cyan cauldron to subdue it. The remaining 3 foreign race men flee toward the cave entrance, and Han Li sends the avatar, Shadow Puppet, and Ghost Puppet to pursue. Eliminating the remaining 3, Han Li solved the stone wall light shield, used the vast cold token to activate the banner formation, and finally broke through the light shield. He smashed the canyon and obtained the incantation contained in the golden characters. Old Man Shu and Fairy Yu observed someone approaching the small island and guessed that it might be Han Li. Han Li rushed to the small island, found that his 2 fellow Taoists were hiding their tracks, and called out to them to show themselves. Fairy Yu and Old Man Shu were overjoyed to learn that Han Li had obtained the incantation. Han Li delves into the golden seal scripture in the great cold world, deciphering the mysteries of the divine refining technique. The divine refining technique greatly enhances divine sense, but cultivation is demanding, requiring both exceptional physical body and divine sense. It comprises 3 layers, each successful layer resulting in a significant boost to divine sense. Han Li divine sense and body meet the requirements, but the second and third layers demand much more. The golden seal scripture also provides formulas for the gathering steel pill and soul condensing pill, which can enhance divine sense and body, fulfilling the divine refining technique's conditions. However, the materials required in the formulas are not found in the spirit realm, rendering them impossible to refine. Despite this, the divine refining technique holds immense power. Even reaching the first layer would increase Han Li's chances of advancing to the integration stage. One day, the great cold medallion in Han Li's storage bracelet flies out and vanishes. A magical formation at the Black Peak transformed to seal away the golden dark beast. The silver broadsword and azure broadsword attacked together, killing the dark beast. The dark beast shed its golden cocoon and fled repeatedly, but was eventually devoured by the true spirit devouring fire. Han Li obtained the Dark Beast's monster core, and the snow-white monster tiger dared not contest him. Han Li put away the magical treasure, and the leopard Lin beast devoured the monster core. Beginning its slumber, 5 colored clouds descended, and Han Li vanished into the spatial fluctuations. Following the trip to the vast glacial realm, Han Li was the first to return via teleportation, causing an astonishing increase in the number of cultivators breaking through to the integration level. When the people of Heavencloud returned, they found that the flames of war had spread in Cloud City. An old man delivered an order to proceed to the Spirit Communication Fortress. The integration stage cultivators from both sides confirmed the authenticity of the token and decided to follow the order. They fought back the horned winged ants along their path and witnessed the destruction of a formidable puppet. Realizing that Cloud City was in grave danger, no saints were encountered along the way. Han Li and the others arrived at the 8 Cloud Mountains, which were heavily guarded. Armored guards of Heavencloud came out to inquire. Yun City fell to the invasion of the Zhao Kai tribe's army, due to his own clan falling into a trap and becoming trapped in a dangerous situation. And the theft of the Prohibition Formation map. The elderly surnamed Weng with great cultivation decided to abandon Yun City. There were dozens of saint-level beings gathered in this city, but they were away on other missions and were not in the city. While the Zhao Kai who attacked the city did not have any saint-level beings. However, this situation would not be able to last for long. The young man surnamed Weng left Han Li behind, because Han Li came from the Vermilion Bird continent and possessed the Void Sky Cauldron. So he might have some connection to the Ice Soul Fairy. The young man wanted Han Li to return to the human race, find the Ice Soul Fairy, and deliver an item and a letter. Despite the imminent invasion of the Zhao clan, Cloud City remained invincible. With the rear under the control of the Heavenly Cloud People, Han Li and his companions returned to Crouching Dragon City on a flying car. Undergoing stringent inspection, they entered the city with their identification tokens. The atmosphere in Crouching Dragon City was tense due to the battle in Cloud City, but the streets remained bustling. Han Li met Shang Jilin by chance, offering to repay his spirit stone debt. Shang recognized Han Li and was delighted. Han Li's true cultivation caused the purple-faced man present to be wary, and he respectfully forgave Shang's debt. Han Li advances to late-stage void refinement in the myriad void expanse. Late-stage integration cultivator Qian Jizi discovers Han Li and learns that he knows Kai Liuyin, Lu Shuer, Duan Tenblade, and Shi Kun. Qian Jizi informs Han Li that the trio wishes to trade with him, offering spirit pills and rare materials to help him overcome the bottleneck of the Saint Realm in exchange for the Heaven Void Realm spirit medicine he obtained in the Myriad Void Expanse's ruins. Han Li responds calmly, indicating that he understands that the spirit medicine is not as important to him as advancing to the Saint Realm and is willing to make the trade. After Han Li requested to show the raw herbs, the 3 seniors also agreed to present their spiritual pills. After Han Li's examination, he was satisfied with their spiritual herbs, but indicated that just exchanging these would not be sufficient. Han Li presented several conditions: a list of rare materials, glass moon fluid, the myriad wonder pill formula, and the spirit summoning puppet refining method. Duan Tianren, Kai Liuyin, and Qian Jizi divide up the spirit medicines according to their agreement. But Kai Liuyin takes an extra 10 for providing spirit stones and crystal moon liquid. Qian Jizi suspects that Han Li has hidden spirit medicines, but Duan Tianren and Kai Liuyin are respectful of Senior Ong's orders and deem the risk too great to pursue it. Han Li keeps one of the spirit medicines in reserve and continues to cultivate it using a ripening technique, preventing any real loss. Instead, he obtains a significant amount of resources from Qian Jizi and the others in exchange for the spirit medicines. Han Li purchases materials in the Crouching Dragon City in preparation for returning to the Wind Origin continent. Han Li agrees to meet Shang Jili at the Azure Dragon Peak, but Shang Jili is late. Han Li sets up a formation atop the mountain and waits patiently for his arrival. Han Li uses the Heavenly Devil armor to defend against the Blood Shadow's attacks. The Blood Shadow manifests the faces of Ghost Mask, Shang Jili, and Hu Lao Mo, and casts a blood-colored talisman. Han Li transforms his Brahma Saint golden body into a golden hand, capturing the Blood Shadow and refining it with his soul-devouring true fire. Han Li spits out a light orb, trapping the Blood Shadow inside, and completely annihilating it. Han Li discovers that the Blood Shadow had devoured Shang Jili and Hu Lao Mo, with Shang Jili's physical body reduced to ruins. In the desolate world of the Fengyuan continent, the human race and the demon race have joined forces and established Tianyuan city as the sole entrance, protected by restrictions set by the ancient almighty beings of both races. Cultivators from both races can enter the wilderness through Tianyuan city, but their depth of penetration is limited and the level of danger increases accordingly. 4 human cultivators at the nascent soul stage are trapped by a Yuanixia stage stone turtle on a lake, and their situation is precarious. The Confucian scholar suggests using the extreme thunder bead, but it will affect his companions. The armored warrior agrees to use it when it is a matter of life or death. 2 female cultivators and the Confucian scholar use defensive magic weapons to resist the stone turtle's attacks. The Confucian scholar spits out his essence blood to enhance the power of the Ruyi. The armored warrior sacrifices the extreme thunder bead, and its massive explosive power destroys the stone turtle's tentacles, whereupon the 4 escape, but all are severely wounded. A young man with feathered wings named Han Li appears and recognizes the intelligence of the stone Yuan turtle. The 4 request Han Li to lead them to the heavenly abyss city, and he agrees, but only after extracting the stone Yuan turtle's inner core. The stone Yuan turtle attacks, but Han Li easily defends with a gray light screen and a lightning giant hand, killing the stone Yuan turtle in one hit. After taking its inner core, Han Li reveals his name and that he is not yet at the integration stage. Han Li return to the human race is fraught with peril, including a battle with a herd of ancient beasts and wandering into a freezing wasteland. Han Li continued to repair the Thunderlight teleportation formation, but due to the lack of complete array formulas, the teleportation range was limited to 10,000 miles and the time consumption was very high. After spending nearly a century, Han Li finally returned to the Wind Origin continent. He encountered Confucianist scholar and others and learned that he was approaching the heavenly abyss city, and his heart was filled with joy. The 4 Confucianist scholars were injured. Han Li promised to protect them, let them ride on the flying chariot to recover, and inquired about the recent situation of the heavenly abyss city. Heavenly abyss city had been attacked by aliens, but the aliens suddenly withdrew their troops. The reason was unknown. There were rumors that it was related to the appearance of the profound heavens treasure. Han Li sneered at the rumors of the profound heavens treasure and asked about the major events in the 3 realms and 7 domains in the past 100 years. Han Li arrives in Tianyuan city via skyship and meets with Qing Ming guard Zhou Chong, who is responsible for teleportation matters. Zhou Chong informs Han Li that after he left Tianyuan city, some black guards died while fighting against the alien races. Only Zhou Chong and Perfected Shu remain in the city, and Perfected Shu has advanced to mid-stage nascent soul. Upon learning that Han Li knows Zhou Chong, Ru Sheng and the others relax. Zhou Chong reveals the rumor that Han Li killed a void refinement level alien race while in nascent soul realm. Han Li enters the teleportation formation and arrives in the main hall of Tianyuan city. Ru Sheng and the others express their gratitude to Han Li and offer their services. Han Li indicates that he will inform them if needed. Han Li reaches the prosperous heavenly abyss city. He plans to seclude himself and attempt to break through to the core formation realm near heavenly abyss city. He also intends to purchase a large amount of refining materials at a materials shop in heavenly abyss city. Han Li reveals his cultivation base to the shopkeeper, who becomes respectful. Han Li presents a list of materials and asks the shopkeeper to gather them within a deadline. The shopkeeper immediately begins to arrange for the delivery. Han Li discovered that the mountain peak was unoccupied by cultivators, so he released puppets to set up his cave dwelling. Leopard Qilin Beast advanced to mid-refining void stage and guarded the peak. Han Li set up multiple restrictions and a mist formation to protect the cave dwelling. Han Li entered the cave dwelling, arranged restrictions and planted spirit medicine. Communicating puppet doll integrated with the Li Shui bead and its spirituality increased. Han Li retreated and cultivated for 3 days. After being driven out, the external cultivators sought refuge in nearby mountain ranges. Brahma Saint Dharma image activates the mantra, and Brahma sounds reverberate. Han Li operates Brahma Saint Devil Merit Law. Golden scales appear, and silver disc resonates. Dharma image and Han Li back show a golden halo, releasing golden seal text. Silver disc releases silver tadpole text, and runes surge into the halo. Han Li urges runes. 9 discs burst, and the golden halo turns into a golden ball. Dharma image releases another golden ball. and the golden ball submerges into Han Li's forehead. Internal changes happen to Han Li, and his head radiates purple gold light. With flickering runes, anomaly appears in the sky: hail, snowfall, hurricane, interweaving of gold and silver. The celestial phenomenon gradually subsides from Han Li peak outward. Nearby cultivators fly out of caves and watch the direction of the foggy sea. A white-robed man leads more than 10 people to hover in the sky. Paying attention to the anomaly of the foggy sea, mysterious visions appear in the fog, and a golden giant eye forms in the sky. A celestial inspector senses that someone in the lower realm is practicing the forbidden soul-forging technique, causing a reaction in the heavens and the earth. Han Li successfully cultivates the first level of the soul-forging technique, greatly increasing his spiritual perception and revealing the chaos outside. Han Li's spiritual perception probes the edge of the fog and senses a void refinement level cultivator's aura. Han Li encounters Yu Nanshan Valley Cloud, who reveals that the Valley family are descendants of a true spirit family that lives in seclusion here. Han Li comprehends the sword techniques in the diagram of myriad swords, which he incorporates into the Azure Serpent sword formation, creating a more powerful sword intent art. His adventures in the vast glacial realm yield a rich harvest, including the art of soul refinement, hollow spirit pills, spirit medicine, and talisman. Han Li cannot yet use the hollow spirit pills, but the scarlet luosha can be brewed into the life-prolonging scarlet luosha wine. Han Li obtains the etching poison grass, an ingredient necessary for concocting a nascent soul stage pill. Han Li also acquires a secret formation from an alien race, which requires a magic tool as its formation eye. Han Li begins preparing to concoct elixirs and magic tools to break through the nascent soul bottleneck. The colossal ape Dharma defeated the purple dragon, absorbing its electric arcs and spirit cloud runes. A golden pillar of light surged into the 5-colored spirit cloud, drawing in runes and spiritual energy, forming a funnel-shaped vortex. Runes appeared on the body of the ape's illusory form as it reached a critical stage in breaking through a bottleneck. A heart devil interfered with the ape's state of mind, causing intense emotional fluctuations and instability in the runes. Watching cultivators were panic-stricken, and the white-haired elder realized that the ape might lose control and go on a killing spree. The nascent soul merged with the physical body, and a burning energy surged in, making the physical body crystal clear and translucent. The energy flowed through the meridians. The burning sensation disappeared, and a sense of coolness and comfort prevailed. The energy surged into the sea of consciousness, causing a tingling sensation to surge, and Han Li let out a long cry. The cry was like thunder, causing the fog to roll up. The cultivator's divine senses were injured, and they were in unbearable pain. A giant wave struck. The cry stopped abruptly. The fog exploded, and the celestial phenomenon disappeared. The cultivators fled in fear, speculating about Han Li's identity and having thoughts. The white-haired old man sent someone to deliver a message to the Gu family's ancestral home. Rumors about the grand cultivator of Jade Sun Peak spread, and the foggy sea returned to peace. 3 days later, Han Li emerged from seclusion, with his sea of consciousness enhanced. Han Li plans on using corrosive spirit grass and rare materials to refine pills in order to deal with heavenly tribulation, research the uses of illusory spirit pills, and strengthen his physical body. Through the spirit refinement art, he can control thousands of gold-devouring beetles and configure the 7-colored pill to allow the gold-devouring beetles to evolve again. External forces are reacting vehemently to Han Li's advancement to core formation. Sky Abyss City and the True Spirit family both want to recruit him, but both sides reached a consensus to meet first and then discuss further. Han Li breaks through the unity bottleneck in a remote area and coincidentally meets Qi Shu Bing and Immortal Fairy Zhaofeng, the heads of the True Spirit family. The trio chats amicably, with Han Li revealing he has traveled to the savage wilds and the foreign lands, which surprises Qi Shu Bing and Immortal Fairy Zhaofeng. Immortal Fairy Zhaofeng investigates and discovers that Han Li was once a member of the Azure Guards in Heaven Void City, sparking speculation and suspicion. Qi Shu Bing invites Han Li to join the Elder Council on behalf of Heaven Void City, while Immortal Fairy Zhaofeng invites him to become the Supreme Advisor on behalf of the Gu family. Both Heaven Void City and the Gu family offer generous conditions, but Han Li remains silent, his heart torn. Han Li declined the Gu family's invitation to join them, but requested the Gu family to share with him their techniques for refining true spirit bloodlines. The Jiyu family's young mistress, Fairy Zhaofeng, initially refused, but she later returned to the Jiyu family and visited Han Li again. Fairy Zhaofeng proposed a deal. She offered to have Han Li temporarily join the Jiyu family and help them at the True Spirit Grand Ceremony in exchange for teaching him part of their True Spirit bloodline refining techniques. Han Li was interested, because he had found that his current method of refining the True Spirit blood of the Filing tribe was not perfect. And he hoped the Jiyu family's bloodline refining techniques might solve this issue. Han Li encounters a group of injured priests and gives them medicine to recover. The priests accept Han Li's task to find a certain female immortal, Nangong Wan, who may have changed her name. Han Li gives the priests resources and treasures to aid in their search. The priests examine the money pouch and find that it contains a large amount of spirit stones. Han Li reveals a trinket box filled with magical items of benefit to the priests. The priests eagerly accept Han Li's offer. Han Li takes this opportunity to display his power as a deterrent against any treachery from the priests. Han Li leaves the tower and heads to the Tianyuan Protectorate where the mission is based. Han Li collects spiritual medicines, visits the market for auxiliary materials, and contemplates the pros and cons of the position of human race spirit sovereign. In a hidden underground cave, the magic formation activates, and the guardian puppets are awakened. A man in a black robe and a woman in white arrive via a teleportation formation, devour the Silver Race Guardians, and defeat the puppet army. The Silver Race Guardians flee with severe injuries, and the woman in white uses divine abilities to seal the cave, trapping the Silver Race people. A female cultivator of the demon race is interested in purchasing the 10,000-year spirit medicine but shows little interest in the seeds in Han Li's hands. Han Li proposes to exchange the 10,000-year spirit medicine for materials collected by the demon race, including demon bones and inner cores. The female demon agrees to assist in finding the required materials but will not provide any from her own clan. The transaction will be held at the 10,000 Treasures Convention in a few years at the 9 Immortal Mountain. Han Li expects the female demon to find most of the necessary materials, while he will collect the remainder himself. Han Li moves into the Immortal Gathering Pavilion and asks a maid to clean the attic. He then enters the top floor of the attic to cultivate and meditate, and has no other arrangements. Han Li declines Elder Jin Yu's invitation to the elders' meeting, focusing on his cultivation instead. Han Li exchanges cultivation experiences with Elder Jin Yu, benefiting greatly. Fairy Shu pays a visit to Han Li and is surprised to learn that he has broken through to the fusion stage. Han Li activates the attic's restriction, preparing for a private conversation. Han Li asks Fairy Shu if her ancestor was Ice Soul Fairy. Shu Qianyu revealed her real name. Han Li bought some more materials. The assembly of elders gathered to discuss the demonic disaster. They found there were no more available divine soul stage cultivators that could be called upon. It was expected that the demon realm would invade in a few hundred years. The three sovereigns and the king of monsters decided to conserve their strength for self-preservation. Tianyuan city was too weak to proactively attack the demons. The demons kept mortals for the purpose of breeding spirit realm cultivators. They coveted their primordial spirits and demon cores as supplements. Upon returning to Skyrimi City, Senior Ao Shao's favorite concubine, Fairy Ling Long, was found to have advanced to the peak of the mid-refining void stage, causing quite a stir. The elders of Skyrimi City discussed the arrival of envoys from the Rakshasa tribe and the Wood tribe, in preparation for the impending demonic catastrophes. Meanwhile, Han Li and Fairy Shu teleported to Maplewood City, intending to visit Fairy Zha's family. The divine sense of a spatial severance cultivator was detected atop the mountain in Maplewood City, eliciting surprise and speculation among the refining void stage cultivators who suspected it was the work of a Skyrimi City elder. Shu Qianyu requested Han Li to wait for the Shu family to greet them. Han Li agreed and parked the flying boat outside the mountain range. A Shu family cultivator noticed their flying boat, and Shu Qianyu went out to greet them. The Shu family cultivators warmly welcomed Shu Qianyu and the visitors. Celestial music sounded in the mountain range, and several women dressed in palace attire came to greet them. 3 high-ranking members of the Shu family, Shu Zhao, a white-robed man, Shu Lu, a giant man, and another greeted Han Li. Shu Zhao introduced himself as the patriarch who had led the Shu family for 1,000 years. Han Li stated that he came for matters concerning the Shu family's ancestor. Xu Zhao invited Han Li to the Shu family's domain and used a token to open up the elusive Mirage Illusion realm. Han Li pointed out a weak spot in the elusive Mirage Illusion realm. The Shu clan demonstrated their Azure Blue Frost Flame divine ability, proving their lineage as descendants of the Ice Soul Ancestor. Han Li verified the Shu clan's bloodline and delivered 2 sealed artifacts that had been given to him by a foreign senior. The Shu clan speculated that their ancestor had disappeared because he had entered the savage wilds and encountered the foreign senior. Xu Zhao opens the blue jade slip in the jade box, which records information about the Ice Soul Fairy. The jade slip mentions that the Ice Soul Fairy went to the primitive world. But an accident occurred, only a wisp of her blood soul was returned. After learning this, Xu Zhao decides to use the blood crystal coffin and blood soul bottle to awaken the blood soul and learn the truth about the incident. Xu Zhao arranges the deployment of secret guards, invites the great-great-uncle, and prepares to hold a ceremony. Xu Zhao believes that Han Li's divine abilities may be helpful to the Shu family and intends to keep him. Han Li was pondering over talisman papers, and sensed the auras of Xu Zhao and a late-stage form synthesis cultivator. Xu Zhao brought the first elder Xu Yuan to meet Han Li, seeking help to awaken the blood soul in a blood soul bottle. In order to find the whereabouts of Ice Soul Fairy, the blood soul bottle was crafted by Ice Soul Fairy, and contained a strand of her blood soul. Awakening the blood soul could reveal her location. A group of people entered the underground vault of the ancestral temple, descending the stairs to a large subterranean hall. The hall was constructed from black jade with white runes etched into the walls. In the center was a hexagonal magic circle containing a circular pool filled with a bright red liquid. Meditating around the pool were more than 10 Shu cultivators, including Xu Yan and Xu Huo. The cultivators expressed gratitude to Han Li, but he stated that he could not guarantee success. The Shu family patriarch explained the blood soul restoration ceremony, which required blood essence and the blood crystal coffin. Han Li noted similarities between the ceremony and an alien technique he had encountered, expressing confidence in aiding the Shu family. After studying the magic circle, Han Li decided to intervene at an opportune moment and sat down to wait. White runes surged into the crystal coffin, forming a vague white figure. Xu Zhao sacrificed the blood bottle, and streaks of blood shot into the coffin. The white figure turned red. The Shu family cultivators activated the magic formation. Streaks of blood she spiraled around the blood cocoon, which grew larger. The supply of blood was insufficient, and the blood cocoon shrank. The Shu family cultivators exhausted their spiritual power. Han Li took action, sending the devil baby and the leopard-scaled beast to assist the blood banner. He himself infused the banner with spiritual power, and the blood banner flourished. A woman in a palace gown appears and scans Han Li with her divine sense. Han Li resists using the great development art, and the woman is called the Ice Soul Fairy. The Ice Soul Fairy asks Han Li about his identity, and Han Li gives his name, saying that he is from the human world like the Ice Soul Fairy and that he inherited part of the land blue ice flame. The Immortal's bloodline is unstable, and she wants to talk in detail after consolidating her blood soul. Han Li agrees to talk to her later and leaves. The Immortal wakes up and meets the Shu family's cultivators, telling them that she has lost part of her memory and only remembers that her main body is still in the spirit world. The Shu family is overjoyed and decides to look for their ancestors. Han Li accepts the blood soul scriptures given by Blood Spirit, but cannot cultivate it due to conflicts with his cultivation technique. Blood Spirit speculates that Han Li cultivates the Confucian method, but Han Li clarifies that he cultivates a special spiritual sense secret technique, and cultivating the blood soul technique will hinder his cultivation. Blood Spirit takes back the blood soul scriptures, believing that the blood soul technique and the second nascent soul each have their advantages. Han Li asks Blood Spirit about the past of the human world, but Blood Spirit says there is no relevant part in her memory. Blood Spirit asks if Han Li took a magic weapon related to her true self, and Han Li brings out the Void Heaven Cauldron. Blood Spirit recognizes the Void Heaven Cauldron, speculates that it is similar to another magic weapon owned by her true self, and may be very important to her true self. Han Li traveled among the human race, learning about the situation of various sects. Integration cultivators were rare in the human race, and their overall strength was inferior to that of some alien races. Han Li happened to encounter and kill an evil cultivator, and his reputation spread throughout the Tianyuan realm. The Xuanwu Mirror and Tinling realm forces recruited him, But Han Li refused them. Han Li met the young Taoist priest Qilingzhou and the handsome Hai Deshao. Qilingzhou invited Han Li and Hai Deshao to join the Woei sect. Boasting of its extraordinary heritage, Hai Deshao belittled the strength of the Woei sect, believing that its ancestor Zan Lingzhou was only an ordinary divine transformation cultivator in the spirit world. Han Li believed that the Woei extreme technique had special requirements for aptitude. Han Li and young Master Hai team up with Spirit Toolchild on a perilous journey. They offend a powerful family in a town and are hunted. But Han Li intervenes and rescues them. Han Li possesses mysterious and powerful magical artifacts and has profound cultivation insights. Spirit Toolchild claims to be the sect leader of Misty Sea sect, but seeks a greater master and repeatedly tries to recruit Han Li and young Master Hai. Young Master Hai's wind attribute spiritual root mysteriously vanishes, but returns after a day. Han Li discovers that young Master Hai has lost the ability to use his magic after his spiritual root disappeared. Young Master Hai and Spirit Toolchild covet Han Li's soul condensation fruit, and Han Li gives them 6. Numerous cultivators and demon cultivators gather at the marketplace near the 9 Immortal Mountain. High-level demons can also transform their appearances, and the two races live in peace. The marketplace is chaotic, and the strong often bully the weak. Middle-aged cultivator Bai Hua and his daughter Guo'er are attacked by 3 men in black, including Shi Lun. Shi Lun wants to take the 1,000-year-old blood ginseng that Bai Hua has, and Bai insists that his daughter leaves safely before he hands it over. Shi Lun agrees to let Guo'er go, but when she is about to leave, Shi Lun grabs her. Shi Lun threatens Bai Hua to hand over the blood ginseng, or he will harm Guo'er. Young Master Hai came to the aid of the middle-aged man, and his golden fist shadow rained down on the black-clothed monk. The artifact spirit explained helplessly that the displace peach with plum talisman was rare and could not be used easily. Shi Lun and the other two joined forces to attack the middle-aged man. But the middle-aged man fought back, and the situation became deadlocked. Shilin unleashes a swarm of crimson blood bees to attack Han Li, but they are frozen by Han Li's 5-colored frostfire. Shilin attacks with an Azure Ancient Mirror, but it is blocked by Han Li's gray light barrier. Han Li pierces Shilin's skull with an azure thread, killing him. Shilin's 2 accomplices flee, but they are killed by Han Li's golden arc of electricity. Young Master Hai disparages Qi Lingzi, saying he is inferior to Han Li in strength. The middle-aged man, Bai Hua, expresses his gratitude to Han Li and inquires about their names. Immortal fairy Yuehua was surprised by Han Li's imposing manner, but after she investigated with her divine sense and the imposing manner disappeared. She invited Han Li and the others to her cave abode. Han Li and the others agreed to go to the cave abode when a heavenly sound was heard, and everyone looked towards the source of the sound. In the distance, a large motorcade appeared on the horizon, including nascent soul stage armored warriors, perfected void stage cultivators, integration stage powerful beings, and the giant beast carriage carrying the sovereign of the Heaven Yuan saint. Celestial Emperor Tianyuan met Han Li and was impressed by his rapid advancement to the integration stage, extending a warm welcome, emphasizing his fondness for spirit wine. Celestial Emperor Tianyuan shared his Tiger Soul spirit wine with Han Li, who revealed his prior consumption of the 9 fragrance spirit wine, which was of comparable quality. Han Li further disclosed his anticipation of a superior wine, the Crimson Silk Immortal wine, brewed from the celestial Crimson Silk spirit fruit. Astonishing those present, Han Li discusses cultivation insights with a Dao integration cultivator, gaining valuable knowledge. The Heavenly Zenith Saint Emperor consults with fellow Taoist Huang and Grandmaster Heavenly Cicada about their opinions on Han Li. Grandmaster Heavenly Cicada comments on Han Li's profound cultivation base and numerous divine abilities, comparable to a mid-integration cultivator. Fellow Taoist Huang remarks that Han Li's physical body is formidable, rivaling that of the Saint Emperor himself. The Heavenly Zenith Saint Emperor highly praises Han Li, believing that his future potential is boundless. Han Li travels to 9 Immortals Mountain to attend the Myriad Treasures Convention. But along the way, he discovers a secret cave. Yuehua Fairy couldn't understand Han Li's concern for Begor, but still led the way. Han Li examined Begor's condition and found that the bed of burning wood couldn't alleviate her cold poison. Han Li used his magic power and silver needles to extract Begor's lifeblood and condense it into ice. Han Li used a magic decree to dispel the blue cold air in Begor's body. Beigor woke up and fell asleep again. Han Li explained that she needed to rest. Han Li asked Baihua and her husband about Beigor cold poison. Baihua and her husband said that the cold poison came from a rare source of lung cold air and was difficult to treat. Han Li asked when Beigor cold poison started and the couple replied that it started at the age of 9. Han Li informs the girl there are 2 ways to resolve the ice marrow physique: change the physique using the blood of a close relative, or to refine a very positive elixir. Using the blood of a close relative is too risky and would delay cultivation by hundreds of years. Something cultivators rarely choose to do. Refining a very positive elixir is also very difficult. Not only because the spiritual medicine is rare but also because taking it may damage the cultivator's spiritual root aptitude. Immortal Yuehua and the middle-aged man ask Han Li to help. And Han Li proposes conditions. He is willing to accept the girl as a nominal disciple to cultivate the Ice Marrow Cold Soul Divine Technique. After the girl has become proficient in the divine technique, she must spare no expense in finding something for Han Li, which she will only be able to detect once she has reached the soul formation realm. Immortal Yuehua and Bai Hua agree to the conditions, and Han Li accepts the girl as his disciple, with the agreement that she will return in 100 years. The old woman from the Golden Light sect is delighted, as Han Li has established a connection with the sect, which will allow them to bully others by trading on his reputation. Han Li and Hai Deshao Qi Lingzi go to Jushan Mountain to participate in the Wanbao conference. They encounter Lei Wei of Ba Huang Palace on the way. The leader of the Lei Wei recognizes Han Li. After learning his identity, he treats him respectfully and leads Han Li into Jushan Mountain. Han Li learns that this Wanbao conference is different from the past, with the 9 peaks opening up 8 subvenues, and there are expected to be many participants. Han Li learns that Palace Master Wan Bone of the Myriad Bone sect resides on the top floor of the Palace of the Welcoming Immortal and is allowed to choose any other floor as his residence. Han Li chooses the 5th floor as his abode and uses a teleportation array to reach it. For the first time, young Master Hai and Tool Spirit Sun experience the teleportation array. Arriving at an open-air platform on the 5th floor, the platform is surrounded by exotic flowers and strange plants. In the pond, 5 colored spirit fish swim around, releasing rich spiritual energy. Above, instead of multiple suns, there is a glowing white orb of vision created by the restrictions. Young Master Hai and Tool Spirit Sun are amazed and excited by the beauty of the platform. Han Li, a cultivator at the integration stage, is tasked with escorting the young master of the Great Sea Sect and his companion to the assembly hall. Han Li meets with Elder Wan Bone, the patriarch of the White Bone sect, and they discuss their past experiences in the Savage Lands. Elder Wan Bone informs Han Li of the existence of the Dark Nexus Exchange Conference, a private trading event held for integration stage cultivators to barter for rare treasures without revealing their origins. Wang Guzhan wants to win over Han Li and make him an ally. Wang Guzhan acknowledges that winning over Han Li will require careful planning, but he believes in Han Li's potential. The seductress questions the effectiveness of Wang Guzhan's plan to recruit rogue cultivators, suggesting that joining a major force is safer. Wang Guzhan firmly believes in the importance of unity and mutual support among rogue cultivators, which he believes will increase their chances of survival during the demon tribulation. Wang Guzhan and the seductress plan to recruit other rogue cultivators at the 10,000 Treasures Convention.